Hello and welcome to the November edition of Rowlett on the Water, on the Move. I'm Tammy Dana-Bashian, Mayor of Rowlett.
And I'm Brian Funderburk, Rowlett City Manager.
Our show can be seen in 3 different ways. On the city cable channel, RTN 16. You can also find us on YouTube channel under Rowlett Texas Video. And finally, you can catch us on streaming video on rowlett.com.
Well, welcome back for show number 2, Tammy.
Thanks, Brian. It's been a very active month, and I made it to month 2. I'm so excited. So why don't you get us started with some great news?
I would love to. In recent Dallas Business Journal entitled, "Which North Texas Cities Have the Leanest Local Governments?" the city of Rowlett ranked number 5. The average North Texas city has 98 employees per 10,000 citizens. The city of Rowlett has only 77 employees per 10,000 residents and delivers exemplary service and value. You know, the mission of the city of Rowlett has always been to provide a citizen-centered organization that ensures that citizens receive value for their investment. This recognition is a great example of how Rowlett fulfills our commitment to our citizens. The other top 5 cities include Little Elm, Carrollton, Louisville, and Lancaster. So, Tammy, leanest city. That means fewest employees per 10,000 citizens.
It's just remarkable, Brian. We know we've always run a tight ship, but this is real validation from the Dallas Business Journal, and I'm just amazed what our employees can do for our citizens in being so lean compared to the average of the North Texas cities.
And you know, every city, there may be things that are different a little bit. Like Garland, for example, has their own electric,
Right.
department, but so much of what cities do is the same. Everybody's got a police department, fire department. So for the most part, when they say almost 10 employees per 1,000 and we're under 8, that is pretty extraordinary.
It is, and it's just a testament to our employees of what they do with less, and we still maintain service levels for our residents, so it's great news.
It is very good news.
And more great news for those living in the western and northwestern areas of our city. The upper pressure plane, which has been in development since 2008, is now online and delivering greatly enhanced water pressure to Rowlett homes and businesses. The upper and lower pressure planes are instrumental in providing improved service pressures and flow capacity for the northwestern quadrant of our city. To see how it all works, watch the upper pressure plane video during our commercial break featuring Utility Operations Supervisor Mark Leal.
You know, Tammy, this is an extraordinary event. If I remember right, this project took almost 9 years to get to this stage today, and a lot of design engineering, a lot of construction. We had to build new water towers, we had to put in new water lines, we had to expand capacity. All of that is to ensure that the people in the highest area of the city, that northwest and western quadrant, can have the same amount of pressure throughout the rest of the city. And to do that, we actually even had to split the city into 2 zones.
Yeah, this started all before my time, but I understand that the original proposal was to put it all on one pressure plane, and that we came up with an alternative to split it into 2 pressure planes, which saved millions of dollars for the city. Is that true?
It did, Tammy, and when we were looking at the original cost, and I can't remember exactly how much it was saved, but it was millions of dollars, and it actually sped up the process so that we can finish the project sooner.
And the bottom line is, the residents are pretty happy right now. We have good water pressure throughout the city, and we've heard nothing but good things once this went live this summer. So,
well, we're very happy with it. We're getting a lot of positive comments from our citizens. People who have said it's always been difficult even to take a shower on the 2nd floor of their home now can do that, and they're not having issues at all. They're actually having that water pressure, and it's fantastic.
Wonderful news, Brian.
After the inaugural Main Street Market event in September was such a success, we're keeping the momentum going into the fall season. Introducing the Scarecrows on Main social media contest. Take a stroll in downtown Rowlett and check out all the family-friendly scarecrows on display in front of the local businesses. Snap a photo with your favorite scarecrow and post it to social media using the hashtag ScarecrowsOnMainRowlett. That is Scarecrows on Main Rowlett. The Scarecrow selfie with the most likes will win a $100 gift card. The winner will be announced on Small Business on Saturday, November 25th. And the rules: the post must be made before November 25th and must be family friendly. Remember, use the hashtag on the screen, Scarecrows on the Main Rowlett. And today we have a very special guest with us. We have the Mayor Crow. So, Mayor Crow, how are you doing today?
Well, Brian, I'm a little stiff, but other than that, I'm doing pretty well.
Doing well. Well, I have seen you out in front of City Hall and recognized you right away. You are doing a fantastic job keeping the citizens away.
Brian, well, I'm here to promote our Mayor Scarecrow, and I want to make sure that people come by City Hall and all the way down Main Street and make sure they take their selfie and post it on social media. And obviously there were some busy folks here at City Hall last week and made some interesting scarecrows out in front of City Hall.
Well, as I drove through town yesterday and saw your scarecrow as well as the other scarecrows, I can tell they did a fantastic job. They particularly did a great job with the sombrero. It looks a little tight, but I think it fits you just perfect.
Yes, and they even named this crow. It's Mayor Crow, which is not, anything, that's not the moniker I want to go forward with. But so please come down to Main Street and check out all the scarecrows, including Mayor Crow.
Say goodbye, Mayor Crow.
Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Mark Leo, Utility Operations Supervisor for Rowlett. Today I'm going to talk about the city's newly created upper pressure plane in the water distribution system. The first question you might ask is, what is a pressure plane? A pressure plane is the sustained water pressure in the water distribution system that covers a geographic area. Rowlett had only one pressure plane in its water system until embarking on the upper pressure plane project. First, a little history. Studies completed in 2007 through 2010 identified the need for two pressure planes to address the long-standing inconsistencies in water pressure in certain areas of the city. The water system pressure is primarily created by gravity on the water in the elevated storage tanks. The weight of the water pressure down on itself due to gravity creates the pressure. The amount of pressure is dictated by the difference in elevation between the top of the water in the tank and the natural ground elevation. A larger difference in elevation results in a higher pressure. Conversely, a smaller difference in elevation results in a lower pressure. Therefore, in the higher elevated areas of the city, which are the northwest and westerly areas, the customer's water pressure was much lower than the customers located closer to the lake in the lower elevated portions of the city. There is a 115 feet difference in elevation from the northwest portion of the city to the southeast portion of the city. To put these into perspective, if a person were standing at the far northwest portion of the city, they would barely see the top of an 11-story building located at the southeast portion of the city. In 2010, the city hired engineering consultants to determine the best method to provide a minimum pressure of 45 psi during the peak demand conditions. In 2013, staff provided an update to City Council with a plan, recommended by the city's engineering consultants, which were Friesen Nichols, Neil Schaefer, and the RJN Group, to expand the upper pressure plane area in several phases beginning in 2013 and continuing through 2017. A new elevated water storage tank was also constructed on Main Street to serve the upper pressure plane. The total cost to implement the upper pressure plane was approximately $15 million. Along with our partners, staff dedicated over 4,500 man-hours implementing the separation between the upper and the lower pressure planes. The upper pressure plane was fully operational on July 20th, 2017. This is great news for those living in the western and northwestern areas of the city. The upper pressure plane is now online and delivering greatly enhanced water pressure to Rowlett homes and businesses. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned just a little about upper pressure planes. See you next time.
I'm here today with Rowlett Detention Officer Brian Wilburn. He is also a retired police officer, a former member of the Navy Reserve, and is currently a member and president of the Third Watch LEMC. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
So we have a lot of stuff coming up soon on the week preceding Veterans Day, and I wanted to talk to you and let the public know what's going on. The first event that week is Tuesday, November 7th. For our
Yep.
regular council meeting. We have a very, very special guest coming to visit us at the council meeting so that we may honor him for his service. Want to tell us a little bit about him and what we're doing that night?
Yes, ma'am. Well, to kick off this inaugural event to recognize a Rowlett veteran, we've selected 71-year-old Donald Pearson. And he is a Marine, once a Marine, always a Marine. Who also has the distinction of having served in the U.S. Army after he got out of the Marine Corps. So on the 7th, what we're going to do, Third Watch LEMC, along with some other clubs that we've formed a working relationship with, the Southern Dogs LEMC, Steel Horse Patriots LEMC, Chaotic Angels, and the Iron Circle. We're going to go and pick up Mr. Pearson, and he's blind. He's been unable to see for a number of years. He actually lost his sight in an accident at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And when we were talking to him about this, we were talking about putting him on the back of a motorcycle, and he just readily agreed about that. And he said he couldn't wait to feel the wind on his face as he went across the bridge. So we're going to go to his house en masse with
You have a procession coming.
Yes, ma'am. And we're going to put him at the front of that procession and escort him from his home to City Hall, where we'll honor him with a proclamation.
And this is the first of a new program we're implementing here in Rowlett, where we're going to recognize a veteran monthly at a city council meeting and make sure that our citizens know the veterans that are living among us. And when I first thought about doing this, the first person I thought about helping me was you, Brian, because
thank
of
you.
your involvement with the veterans in town. And speaking of which, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you have been doing for our veterans and your partnership with Life Message and what kind of services you are currently helping veterans with in our town?
Well, I first became involved with trying to help Rowlett's veterans, the homeless, needy veterans, about 3 years ago, and it was just a small grassroots effort involving myself and other members of the police department. Through that process, I met the city manager and got advice from him and former mayor Todd Gattell, and they introduced me to Chris Kazar at Life Message. And in the process of educating myself, I learned that Life Message was providing assistance to, at the time, 24 needy vets. And then we went out and we located 3 more that were actually living off the grid in Rowlett. 2 were living underneath 2 Mile Bridge or Muddy Creek Bridge, and the other was living in the Greenway at the end of George Bush. And so the first time we were able to raise about $1,500, which we, at Thanksgiving time, it was about 3 years ago today, or this month, and we gave that money to Life Message, and they turned around and provided meals at Thanksgiving specifically for those veterans. That kind of got the ball rolling for us. So myself, Corporal David Norberg, who's a Rowlett police officer, and several others, we decided, because we all ride motorcycles and we have a love of that and the brotherhood that we share, something very special to us. Well, we wanted to put that together for a purpose, and our purpose is to help Rowlett's veterans, homeless vets, needy vets, veterans like Mr. Pearson, who's blind and unable to do yard work and things like that.
I think you recently had an event at his home where you helped him with some home improvements or repairs.
Yes, ma'am, we did. What we did specifically was help him clean up damage that was left over from the December tornado, and then about 4 or 5 months ago, we had another weather event with straight line winds and stuff, and it caused a large tree to fall down, took out his fence, and then into his home. What was really nice about that is other members of the community stepped up. Ryan Seal of Spire Construction here in town, who lost a leg not too long ago, and the community reached out to him. Well, he paid it back. He came and he donated his time, his company's time, and then Home Depot got involved. They donated 50% of the material to the project, and when it ended up, Mr. Pearson had a cleaned out yard. We took about a 30-foot trailer full of debris out of his yard, and then Ryan came in and built 2 new gates and fencing around the house, so we were able to really help him out. Yes.
Wonderful. So we're looking forward to meeting Mr. Pearson on Tuesday, November 7th at our City Council meeting, where we will be recognizing him with a proclamation at the kickoff of our monthly recognition of a veteran. So let's fast forward to the 9th of November. I understand you have another event on the 9th of November. That's a Thursday, I believe.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is that about in regards to veterans?
Well, one of the things that Third Watch does to help our homeless vets, and so far this year we've helped out 7 of them. They come into town in various ways. Most of them come in on DART. Others are just passing through and have they've fallen on hard times in our city. So what we want to do is we have backpacks full of things that people in transition or that are living in their car could use: food, water, the basic necessities of life. And another group called Whiskers for Wounded Warriors had heard about our efforts to provide these vets with these backpacks, and they are hosting an event at Quinlan High School that day. Basically, they're going to provide us with another dozen fully stocked backpacks ready to go for vets when that need arises.
So you're riding out to Quinlan.
We're going to
picking up
ride
those
as a group.
backpacks?
Yes, ma'am. Out to
And
Quinlan and pick up the backpacks.
Have those available for our veterans that need them.
Yes, ma'am.
And then Veterans Day, Saturday, November 11th, we have a ceremony starting at 11 a.m. at the Rowlett Community Center to honor our Rowlett veterans. And I understand that Third Watch LEMC will also be riding in and helping us honor veterans on that day.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. We want to be a positive presence in the city of Rowlett. We want our fellow citizens to know what we're doing, and we want to encourage them to participate in this effort. So we do that by getting out and showing our colors. And Third Watch LEMC, the Southern Dogs, and the other groups that I mentioned previously, we intend to, we're going to have a unity ride, but it's going to start at the community center prior to our event. And what we want to do is we want to line up and honor the veterans as they arrive with a salute, and then we'll go and we'll participate in the events inside.
Ceremony.
The ceremony inside. And then after it's completed, we have some other stops. We're going to lay a wreath at Flagpole Hill in Dallas. We're going to the VA hospital to meet with some recently wounded vets from the Iraq and Afghanistan theaters. And then we're going to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial at Fair Park as well. And then we'll come back to Rowlett.
Well, we thank you and Third Watch LEMC and the other MCs for everything you're doing for our vets. And we're really looking forward to seeing you on November 7th to kick off our recognition of vets at the City Council meeting. And we're looking forward to seeing you on Veterans Day also.
Well, we'd like to thank you because your attention to this, the awareness that you've brought to this has helped tremendously. My phone and the phone of my brothers, it's been ringing off the hook literally with people who were previously unaware of this, and now because you're trying to bring attention to this, people are asking, well, what are you doing for them, and what can I do to help? And it's just been, the response that we've gotten and the feedback we've gotten has been tremendous. So I want to thank you for doing this. I know former Mayor Gotell and Brian Funderburk had done a lot to get it started, but kicking off this event like this is taking it over the top. So thank you very much for that.
You're very welcome. And this is just the beginning. We'll have more
Yes, ma'am.
information coming out and more ways to help our vets.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, ma'am.
congratulations go to Whitney Lanning, who recently received the Regional Service Excellence Award, also known as the Hot Stuff Award, from the North Central Texas Council of Governments Emergency Preparedness Department. The award will be presented at the Emergency Preparedness Planning Council meeting in December. Whitney truly deserves this well-deserved recognition for his exceptional contributions to emergency response in our region. Whitney is an incredible asset to our community and to our entire region. You know, Brian, Whitney Lanning has been so instrumental in the hurricane relief for Harvey, for our Houston neighbors, and it's just a real pleasure to see that he's being recognized for all his hard work.
And you know, Mayor, it's not just his work with the hurricane. It goes back to the tornado and Rowlett that hit on December 26, 2015. His work with the Long-Term Recovery Committee, his work on the Rowlett CERT group, his influence in the region. When the hurricane did hit, as you remember, you and I, when we toured the facility, Whitney was in high demand. They wanted him there. They kept asking him to come back and help. It just, you know, he's so skilled and just, you know, so talented in this area. And we're very lucky to have him in Rowlett.
Anywhere I go in regards to emergency preparedness organizations or meetings, everyone knows Whitney Lanning. Everybody highly respects Whitney Lanning. He's one of the first individuals they call on for help when they need help, and we're just so lucky to have him in our community.
Recently, the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts Transparency Stars program recognized the City of Rowlett for going above and beyond in their transparency efforts. We have officially been awarded our final state transparency star and are only the 4th entity in the state to receive all 5 stars in this prestigious program. Today I'm here with our Interim Director of Financial Services, Wendy Badgett, to tell us more. Wendy, we're going to start with, why is this good for the citizens of Rowlett?
Well, Brian, on top of the city issuing its annual comprehensive annual financial report each year, this opens another platform that citizens can look into what's going on in the city and financial transparency.
So tell me, why does the state do this? So obviously it's the Texas Comptroller's Office that does this program, and I know over time they've kind of added additional stars to it, but what are the kind of things that they actually measure?
Right, Brian. The state introduced this back in 2016 and encouraged almost over 4,800 of local governments, counties, and school districts to improve greater financial transparency with the citizens and financial operations within the government.
So as I understand, there are 5 stars. What does it mean that what does each star have to do to win that star?
Each star has got a specific purpose. For instance, the traditional finances star is more of a condensed presentation of our annual financial report. We also have a star for contracts and procurement, and that's going to open the doors to what's going on in the city as far as our large contracts and our projects going on. We have our economic development star, which we work with our economic development department to provide what's going on as far as growth in the city. The public pension star that we have earned also shows the pensions going on with the employees and what the obligation and the financial liability is to the city. And the debt obligation star obviously is going to show more in depth of what debt the city has taken out with tax dollars.
So each star has its own criteria that you have to meet. Obviously the easy one for us, because of all the years that we've been doing it, was the financial data
Absolutely.
that we do. You are, as finance director, you are in charge of our comprehensive annual financial report, which in and of itself has been winning awards for over 10 years now, if I remember right. So tell me a little bit about the like economic development. What are some of the things that are included in that criteria?
Part of the data that's included in that criteria are some of the tax increment refinancing zones, some of the public improvement districts that the city is creating to keep the public informed of those big growth opportunities.
So, and I think also it includes now our any incentives the city provides. We now put that information out online too. Is that
That's
correct?
right. Any type of tax incentives, whether it be property tax or sales tax incentives, are included in this this disclosure.
And I know sometimes our citizens ask about those kind of things. So part of this is to put as I understand it, is to put the power in the hands of our citizens. So rather than feeling like they have to ask, the information is out there for them.
Exactly. It makes it easy for the citizens to go to our transparency website and look at all of this detailed information that we now provide, that they can look at any time, not just during office hours when they feel like they want to call.
So where do they go to actually access this information?
It's within 2 clicks on the city's website. You just go under departments and financial transparency.
So Rowlett.com, click on the drop-down button for departments. And then there's one called
Financial transparency.
All right. Well, that sounds really great. So 4th in the entire state.
Yes, out of 4,800 local government entities, we were 4th in the state to receive this great award.
That is fantastic. So I'm sure other cities are pulling theirs together now. I know a few cities got theirs done before we finished, but 4th in the entire state, you guys should be very, very proud of that.
Thank you. We are.
Welcome back. We have upcoming council meetings on Tuesday, November 7th and Monday, November 13th. And our upcoming planning and zoning meetings are Tuesday, November 14th and Tuesday, November 28th. And city offices will be closed on November 23rd and 24th for the Thanksgiving holiday.
And we want to remind everybody that there is a constitutional amendment and joint election on Tuesday, November the 7th. There are 7 state of Texas propositions on the ballot regarding homestead exemptions, home equity loans, requiring notification to the Attorney General of a challenge to the constitutionality of a state statute, defining professional sports teams, and the awarding of prizes by financial institutions. Early voting ends on Friday, November the 3rd, and Election Day is Tuesday, November the 7th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Dallas County Rowlett registered voters will vote at the Annex Conference Room, 4004 Main Street, and Rockwall County Rowlett registered voters will vote at the Rockwall County Library, which is at 1215 East Yellow Jacket Lane in Rockwall.
Our free electronic recycling and document shredding event is happening on Saturday, November 4th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Rowlett High School parking lot. Keep Rowlett Beautiful sponsors this event, which allows citizens to get rid of old electronics in an environmentally safe manner while cleaning up their homes. Document shredding is also offered. The first 3 boxes are free, with a limit of 4 more boxes at a price of $3 each. For more information, please visit keeprowlettbeautiful.org.
And as we mentioned earlier, our Veterans Day ceremony will be held on Saturday, November 11th, 2017 at 11 a.m. in front of the Rowlett Community Center. Show your support and appreciation to those who have made sacrifices for our freedom. We hope to see you out there.
And coming in December is Main Street Fest, Saturday, December 2nd from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. in Pecan Grove Park. What better way to kick off the holiday season than with a fun-filled night of live music and wide variety of activities that include photos with none other than Santa, letter writing to Santa, and festival-style foods. Live music from 4 to 6 p.m. and a tree lighting at 6 p.m.
And of course, we have a holiday parade, a hometown celebration, on Friday, December 8th at dusk on Main Street. Celebrate the spirit of Rowlett with family and friends as our community comes to life with music and dance during a tribute to the holiday season. This lit-up parade will begin in downtown Rowlett and will finish up at the Rowlett Community Center for additional fun holiday activities. Promote your business or organization by assembling a festive float to participate with our rich holiday tradition. For float entries, as well as vendor and sponsorship opportunities, please contact the Rowlett Parks and Recreation Department at 972-412-6170, or you can visit rowlett.com to fill out the form.
And finally, Retreat is returning to Rowlett for Retreat 2. In association with Keep Rowlett Beautiful, Retreat is returning to Rowlett on December 9th to plant another 200 trees at the homes of those affected by the 2015 tornado. To request a tree or to volunteer, please visit retreat.org/Rowlett. Again, that's retreat, RETREAT.org/Rowlett. And in closing, any information, date, or story heard on this show can be found at rowlett.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook for the latest up-to-date information. Thank you for watching Rowlett on the water, on the move.